In this second video of this week, we're going to start with chapter 12. Make sure that you finish chapter 10 first. So if you didn't finish exercise 43, 44 and 45, please do that first and then you can start freshly with chapter 12. In this video, I would like to discuss the difficult Socrative questions. You all did a quiz last lesson and some of the questions were, well, a little bit more difficult than the other ones. We're going to talk about shortened formulas again, and we're going to talk about terms and factors, mostly factors, and then you know the difference with the terms. Okay, so those are also the lesson or the video goals. You know how to shorten formulas, and you know what factors are. If you have questions about anything, please let me know. You can email me. I prefer that you contact me through Teams, but please let me know if you have questions. Okay, well, a difficult question of Socrative was this one. It's an equation and you had to solve the equation. Negative x minus 52 is 100. Okay, well, here you're going to subtract something from the negative x, and if you fill in, for example, a 10 for x, then you get negative 10 minus 52, and then it only becomes more negative. So this will be negative 62. And if you add a positive number, if you fill that in for x, it only becomes more negative. So negative 100 minus 52 will become negative 152. So it doesn't really work if you just replace the x with a positive number, because then it becomes more and more negative, and you want to have a positive outcome. So if you can't fill in a positive number for x, then you have to fill in a negative number. And maybe you still know that, well, if you have 2 minus negative 3, that is the same as 2 plus 3. So if you have two negative signs behind each other, then it's the same as plus. And if you put a guard on this term, negative x, then you can say, okay, negative x should be 152, because 152 minus 52 is 100. So if negative x is the same as 152, actually it says negative 1 times x is 152, then x should be negative 125, because then you get negative 125 minus 52, and negative together, that's just plus, so it's a positive number again, and then you get 152 minus 52 is 100. Okay, I hope that's more clear now. The second one, negative 13x is the same as 169. Okay, well, actually, it's like this, negative 13 times x. Look at the difference of writing multiplication. You can also write a point instead of a multiplication sign, is 169. Negative 13 times something needs to be 169, and the rules are negative times negative is positive, and negative times positive is negative, and positive times negative is negative, and positive times positive is positive, of course. And we want to have a positive outcome. So if negative 13, that's a negative one, then you need to multiply it with another negative number. So it needs to be negative 13, because negative 13 times negative 13 is 169. Those rules, you really need to know them. Okay, the last one of the Socrative, that was a little bit difficult. 10 times 15 plus 40x is 510. Okay, if you know the order of operations, it's a little bit late. If you know the order of operations, then you know that you first need to do the multiplication. So 115 plus 40x is 510. Okay, now you can place a card on top of the 40x. 150 plus something is 510. Then 40x should be 360 because 150 plus 360 is 510. And then it says, well, 40 times x is 360. So what should x be? That is the same as dividing 360 with 40, and then it's 9, because 40 times 9 is 360. Okay, and that is the outcome of this. It's a solution of this equation. Okay, new theory. Well, I think you really understand it all, but just to help you. 4 times 4 is the same as 4 squared. We can write it shorter, and we love to write things shorter in the mathematics. So if we can write it shorter, we will write it shorter. So we don't write 4 times 4 anymore, you just write 4 squared. If you have negative 4 times negative 4, negative times negative, the outcome is positive. It's the same outcome as this one. Because negative 4 and negative 4 are the same factors, we will see about that, then you also write it like a square. So that's negative 4 squared between brackets. If we can do that with numbers, we can also do it with variables. So p times p is p squared. And in the same way, negative p times negative p is negative p squared between brackets. Okay, and we can use this information to shorten formulas again. If you have a is 4 times 4 times p, we can write it shorter. First we do the numbers. 4 times 4 is 16, and then we can just do p times p, that's p squared. But we can write this shorter as well, because we don't write a multiplication sign between a number and a variable. So it's 16p squared. And this is the shortest way to write this formula. You're not allowed to do that if there's a plus between them, but if it's all multiplication signs, then you can just put it all together. So 16p squared. If you have to solve this formula, earlier we learned that if you had something like a is 3 plus 4m, or a is 3 minus 4m, that you call those parts of this formula terms. You call them terms if there's a plus or a minus between them. But if you are going to multiply the things in the formula, they are called factors. So 4m and 5m are factors of this formula. And we can write this shorter. 4m, it actually is 4 times m, and we have 5 times m. And we put the numbers in front of the variables. So first we calculate 4 times 5 is 20, and m times m is m squared. So this step you don't have to write it down, but it's just to show you how it works. So if you have to make an exercise and they ask write this formula shorter, then this would be your answer. And you don't have to do other steps, so you can just fill this in. Okay, I hope it's clear to you. This will be the last video of this week because you start with a refresh, and I think that's just similar to chapter 10. And what I just explained about the factors is about question 8 and 10. So you should be able to finish your whole task after seeing this video. And of course, we also have the lesson on Thursday. Good luck, and if you have questions, please let me know.